welcome. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I like to upcycle, recycle, repurpose, whatever you want to call it, old things and make them new again. Well, in today's video, I'm going to redo this table you see behind me. I made it probably about 10 years ago. It was one of my very first projects. I just used plain wood that I had gotten from Lowe's, was not treated, wasn't any special type, so it has not weathered well. Maybe it has. It's 10 years old, so maybe it has weathered well, but nevertheless it's starting to fall apart. The green egg that we have is very heavy. It is also old and was expensive, so I want to be able to keep it. Redoing this table is going to be my project for today. How am I going to use recycled material? Several years ago, a neighbor had some cedar trees that he had to cut down. We took those trees to the mill and had them cut up into boards, and they have been drying in our barn now, and I think they would make a good material for the table. Let me go get changed in some work clothes and get started. First, I need to say this is not an instructable video. It's just me taking you along on one of my many DIY projects. I did use a plan. I had to modify it somewhat, but I'll leave a link below on the website that I got the plan off of. The plan calls for 2x4s as the legs. I had some 4x4 posts that I wanted to use. I think it would be sturdier. On the one that I had made before, I did use the 2x4 post and it turned out fine, but I had these, so that's what I'm using. After cutting the legs, I went ahead and moved to the support beams. Unfortunately, I didn't have any 2x4s that were cedar, so I had to use pressure treated lumber. The support beams are pretty much protected from the elements, so hopefully it will withstand. For the support pieces, I needed 5 at 24 inches and 1 at 42 inches. When putting the side supports together, I made sure that I pre-drilled before I screwed in the pieces together so that the wood wouldn't split. And I may not have needed to, but I went ahead and used 3-inch screws. The legs are 31 inches in length. I put one support at the very top and then one halfway down. The plan calls for 2 aprons, one across the front and one across the back, cut at 48 inches long. Well, because I'm using the 4x4 post, I needed to cut my apron at 52 inches long. I'm adding one support beam across the bottom shelf. The green egg is pretty heavy and I don't want the 1x4s to bend or warp from the weight of the green egg. The middle shelf is just 4 1x6s cut at 45 inches in length. Again, when attaching them, I made sure that I pre-drilled so that the wood wouldn't split. I've learned this the hard way. I don't know how many boards that I've had split on me because I didn't want to take the time and pre-drill. Before I put the top on, I'm going to turn it over and put the casters on. The plan doesn't call for wheels, but it makes it a whole lot easier to move it around once you have the smoker in place. To attach the wheels, I cut a 1x4, 24 inches, the width of my table, and attached them to the post. Hopefully this extra support will make the wheels more stable. In the past, I have just taken some screws and screwed the casters straight into the bottom of the 4x4 post, and with the pressure and moving the table around, the screws did not hold and the wheels became very unstable. I believe this is because of the way the grain of the wood runs. So hopefully adding this extra board will make the wheels more stable. Now for the tabletop. After placing a support beam, it was time to attach the top boards. For this, I used 1x4s cut at 54 inches. A little longer than what the plan suggests, but that all has to do with my legs. I used a board as a spacer so that my spaces in between the top of my slat would be uniform. It's time to make the area where the green egg will set down into the table. The green egg is 24 inches across, so I wanted the circle to be a little bit wider than the green egg, so I cut the circle out 22 inches across. I took a string and taped a marker to one end, cut the string 11 inches, and had a loop knot so that I could put a nail in the middle, and that is how I drew my circle. After making sure the circle was the width that I needed and that I wasn't going to cut through any of my support beams underneath, I went ahead and cut the circle out with the jigsaw. After some sanding and a coat of varnish for protection, it was time to put the green egg into its place. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video has inspired you to do a DIY project of your own.